You see, we've all been manipulated through duality. Duality is something that can be used for good or bad, right? We've been deceived. We've been taught that we're separate from God, that we're separate from each other, when in reality, there's only one. There's only one spirit. God is the essence from which all things come forth from, right? If you look at the symbolism of Christ dying on the cross, it's just an expression of God coming into existence into the physical realm, because the cross has four points, which represent the material realm, right? The four elements, right? So you have spirit coming in to this physical realm and expressing itself through Christ, us. We are the Christ that has come into existence in its purity. And that's before we start, getting diluted by this realm of duality that's being used against us in a negative way. Duality can be a useful tool. It's the tool from which we create, we manifest everything through duality, but duality can also be used to manipulate and deceive and be divisive, just like religions, politics, race, all these things have been used as divisive instruments. It's the realm of duality. But in reality, basically there's only one spirit. It's God. It's the Spirit of God. And we are all being expressed through that one spirit coming into existence in many forms and experiencing God's self, So Christ came into existence being us. That's basically the same story as Osiris and Isis, right? You had the male and the female, and their offspring, Horus, is the product, right? So that's basically what it is. You have that one spirit being crucified on the cross, and it's coming into duality. We came into this physical realm, separating us from God in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically the whole allegory of Christ dying on the cross. It's really simple. There's only one spirit. The separation and the whole concept of individuality is something that has been man-made and cultivated over the ages, and it's been used against us as well. You might recall that Jordan Maxwell one time referred to Christ dying between two thieves, and he said that those two thieves were the past and the future, right? So you learn to live in the now, in the present moment, where your life is unfolding, the eternal present moment constantly unfolding right now, right here. Okay. But you can get caught up in thinking about the past, and getting lost in your regrets, right? Sadness, fear, all those things. Or you can look into the future, right? And you get caught up in anxiety and fear and doubt and worry and all that stuff that has to do with the future. So Christ is in the center of these two thieves of time, the past and the future. But, it gets deeper than that, because, we're learning to balance. We're learning to live in the middle. We understand that the past and the future has value and it has a purpose, right? But we anchor in the center, our Christ self, right? So that's the thing that we need to learn to do. That's what we're doing here. And the way that we do that is we seek enlightenment, and we learn to experience life for what it is, not for what we think it is or what we hope it will be, or living in regret of what it was or what it could have been. But it goes even deeper than that, because you have these three crosses. You have your Christ in the center. The theme has been there. It's always been the same. It's always in threes, right? You have the balance in the center, and you also have your right and your left brain, right, and all of the attributes that follow along with that. you have the male and the female attributes of the brain and of nature and all that stuff. And so the idea is to acknowledge this and realize, hey, I do live in this realm, you know? These things exist, but I am not those things, you know? Those things don't have to control me. I have a Christ self that I can anchor in. I can anchor in the present moment in reality, and I can get outside of my mind if I actually want to, you know? So I don't get, obsessed with negative thinking, and it doesn't weigh me down and affect my life in a negative way. But that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I mean, all of the symbols, everything, all of the occult, all of the esoteric, it's what it's all about. It's about learning to, live your life in the most peaceful, productive way that you can, you know? And so not get caught up in this physical realm of duality and let it control you, you know? It's important to be able to have an anchor to return to be able to find your roots and go back to that, the tree of life, because the tree of good and evil can wreak havoc on you, it can wreak havoc on your mind, and that dual nature, it can cause a lot of negative things in your not only mental life but also in your physical life with the stress hormones that are released through the negative thinking. So it's really about learning the truth and living in the truth. And we're obviously all going to experience hardships in our life, but the important thing is that we have that anchor that we can come back to, and we can bring ourselves back to reality and say, okay, this is, we can recollect ourselves. We can revitalize. We can say, okay, now I need to regroup. This is what I need to do to either move forward or to just find peace in this moment, But it's the reason that is considered occult and hidden is because it really is to most people. Most people, they don't realize that, that they have a choice in this realm of duality. They're just, living their lives through letting things happen to them. They don't realize that, hey, I don't have to have obsessive thinking going on, this negative worry, this pain that it's causing in my life, these outward situations. They don't realize that they can take control of that. They can grab the helm. They can steer the ship, and that's what it's all about. It's about becoming a master of your life, regardless of what happens. Whether you're living healthy or you're sick and you're dying, you're still learning to, whether even if you're sick and you're dying, you are living your life with dignity and control on your terms. But that's what it's about.